And hello, 4010 students here, spring of 20. Always good to have you here on that Zoom session that we have. The time goes too fast, especially for this class. I probably mentioned before, I really love the Tuesday, Thursday 85-minute classes where we can actually develop a topic within any 85-minute period. It's a little bit easier to do it that way. Here we get sound bites. So I was able to jump into one of the breakout rooms with Daniel here, and Daniel already has a career running at Nike, and I find that other students that also work there, it's a good deal because they actually develop some years of tenure there that probably add if they go direct with them eventually. Okay, so let's talk about the Osterwalder value proposition. If you remember today, we watched the video. I just posted that for Friday. For this upcoming Friday, I posted the link to that video in the tab for eClass coming up this Friday, and if something else that flows out of today's discussion. Okay, so we've had some general discussion. I wanted to cover some general points of what it means to start a business, some of the things that you're thinking about. And now we're beginning to get much more detailed. So the next bunch of days, we think we have basically 8 more days. We have 8 more days. Let's cut that to 7. Okay, so there's 7 more days, and we're going to pull this together into a report. Okay, and what we're trying to do is go through a funnel here. Okay, so we're trying to take a very broad concept and come up with something that we can make into a bite size chunk that we can work with on this. And I'm going to go over what I talked with Daniel here, so everybody gets the benefit of that. And so basically, we start out when maybe this is the first time you've ever thought about starting a new company on your own doing something. Is we look at the forest. This is a forest, okay? So this is a forest, bunch of trees here, forest for the trees, okay? So we get a tree. Okay, we get a tree, and what your goal is to reduce that. This is a single tree, very simple drawing here, and let's just disregard the root system on this. Let's think about not the tree, about the trunk, maybe a branch off there, or maybe a twig. No, let's think of the leaf. Okay, so your job is to get specific enough with something you could actually sell. All right, that's one of the biggest challenge is always is to not boil the ocean. Okay, so that's what I was talking to Daniel about, which he wasn't. I'm just explaining this. All right. In fact, Daniel had some interesting detail already about what he was up to here. Okay, and so for everybody to remember, his idea was, and he's close to this, is something to do with a shoe cleaner. Okay. And you'll find, I think it's especially with guys. Okay, guys tend to, you're going to find out, probably tend to wear footwear many years after that they should have been destroyed. Okay, it's one day you should look down and you look at your shoes and say, "Boy, maybe I should get rid of them and get a new pair of shoes." A little different, I think. I don't know for guys that way, but anyway. Um, so he has a shoe cleaner, and I want to go over some of the thought we talked about here. Is to remember, use and enter this. Actually, I've created a file you're going to download for eClass. The assignment for Friday. Okay, we have to start narrowing down what we're working on here. And if you remember, the main part of the right side here is figuring out your customers on the value proposition, what jobs the customer needs done, and frame them in terms of some of them need gains and some of them need pains. As customers, are you going to solve a pain or a gain for them? Okay. All right. For some reason, the things that were sitting behind there decided to show up. They were hidden behind here for a minute, so don't get confused. I'm sorry that just jumped up into my little video here, and I can't even grab it. I'm sorry. Let me delete that. Okay. They were supposed to be hidden behind here. Let me delete that. Pardon the interruption. Okay. So the customer jobs are allocated out to pains and gains. This is age old business. Okay. So this is nothing new, but Osterwalder has to work with us on our value proposition. So the main sector of customer jobs is going to convert into what products and services that you're going to offer your customer. Okay, so these two opposing ends of the respective shapes that we have here. Okay, so you're going to determine what your product and service is, but you're going to determine it in terms of expressing it as a pain reliever and a gain creator. Okay, so I think that's fairly self-evident there, but it's a habit. You're learning a framework that at least maybe something you haven't thought about before is that customers have pain relieved and gains created for them. That's what you do. They're willing to spend money. Okay, So this is the conversation that I had with Daniel. All right. And what you need to do is get pretty specific about who you could go into the market for and make money within 18 to 24 months. Okay. That's actually a lot of time for some of your ideas. It might be a lot. Others might be constrained by getting that much done. Now, the longer it takes to get to market, you're putting off your payback time, your break evens. All right. You're going to be pre-rev. We call it pre-revenue till that point. Okay. Because you want to be post-rev, or you want to be into sales. In other words, you want to have sales happening. Okay. And you want to see how fast you can get to profitability. So you want to get to profits very quickly. Okay. So this is just 101 business kind of concepts. So don't think of it as anything rocket science. Okay. So what you're going to do, if I still have the file open, okay, so this is the value proposition that I want you to work on. I want you to open this file and write right into it. Okay. So this is for Friday, this coming Friday. Submit on eClass for that class on Friday. Okay. So I recreated this in the file for you so you can remember what it is. And I want you to discuss this. I want you to figure it out for yourself. So this isn't a linear discussion. May be a challenge for you to get this thing down to the leaf sized opportunity that you're going to chase. Okay, so under value proposition, I've just written words here that go to the drawing up here. So what jobs need to be fulfilled? What does the market need? Express the customer pains as applicable, and or the customer it should be customer create the pains and gains here. Okay, so I made a typo in there. Okay, so it should be pains or gains as far as that's the simplest level that you can discuss what you're going to offer to the market. Okay. So then you're going to look at the other left-hand side we discussed. What products and services will fulfill the customer jobs? What will they actually take? What do you have as a solution for them? Okay. How are you going to respond? What products and or service solutions do you have? And simply discuss them in terms of the customer pains and gains. No typo there, fortunately. I didn't do it twice. All right. Now, here we go. With that thought process, this process should be constraining for you in a good way that you're going to get down to something very specific that you're going to go to market with. You can tell friends, families, and investors and everything about you've seen this secret. How strong is your feeling that you're onto something that will make money? You need to get very detailed with this. Okay, so compose a narrative now. Okay, so write this up. These could be bullet items above here. Okay, as you sort them, and this is progressive now. So as you come up with this document here, this will lead to your report. Okay. We're not going to have too much time to prove out your assumptions, but you have to be as accurate and logical and reasonable as possible as you get into this. All right. So the third thing is compose a narrative of your value proposition to someone with whom you have no previous contact, like an investor. Okay. Level up. Okay. Start challenging yourself. Real world. Can you be, a thousandaire here? Can you be a millionaire here? In how much time? And really try to encourage you to think about that in terms of the opportunities that you have right now. Why go work for somebody else? There's good reasons to. You learn how to do things with resources. You learn how to do things in groups. You may learn some new frameworks. Hopefully, you're going to learn new frameworks as you go ahead. Okay. And then finally, compose a narrative about the use case. Okay. So a day in a life. This is what you would call, okay, Control C. I don't know if I can draw that. This is what you call a day in a life. Literally write a story. This is a day in the life of your customer. Okay. And write it as not that the customer does this and the customer does that, but right in there, the customer wakes up and they still haven't had this solution, and they find us through a certain channel. Okay, they haven't had the solution for this big thing that they're interested, this game. Okay, they want to be on TV on a as a reality star. What do they call them on these talent shows on TV or whatever? What could you offer them to help them get there? Voice lessons or whatever it may be. Okay, so you compose a narrative. They wake up, they find us on the internet because they're visiting Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is that they do, and they say, this is the day I'm going to make a difference with my life, and I'm going to spend this much dollars. This company that I just found on Facebook, is offering my solution I've been looking for all my life. All right. And I'm willing to spend some amount of dollars. And this is how they start engaging with us. This is what it's like. This is what our solution looks like in their day. They wake up, they download a file, I don't know, they sign up for our system, they pay for it, they start taking singing lessons immediately, and they have a weekly review of how their singing is going. Whatever it is, write it as a story. Okay, this is the way the new world of agile business works. Is that they use a user case, a user use case. Okay, use case here to explain to the entire company internally what the goal is. Okay, so you're going to try to make this a reality. You're going to make this a reality. Okay. So look for that up there. I'm going to post this video and include it in an email out to you. Go to eClass, and for Friday, get as big of a bite out of this thought process as possible. And this is constructive or progressive, and you're going to use this very thing to continue with your business plan that you're pitching here. Okay. Very good. We'll see you in class. Bye now.